Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday. We'll probably be streaming a little bit later, so if you want to hit that subscribe button, or if you've already done so, ring a bell so you get notified when that happens. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Unless of course you want to miss the live stream, in which case don't do any of that, and just wait in the blind abyss as to whether or not you ever see my face again. But that sounds sad, and I don't like that. Today... How's that for an intro? Today we're going to talk a little something about legendary remix banners, because you guys have been leaving some comments on the monthly events video that I did a couple days ago, and you're kind of wondering like, hey, where's the next remix? Because we had a lot of stuff happen in February, right? I have a feeling, an inclination, that more than likely we're not going to see anything happen until May. And here's the reason why. And here's why that's actually a pretty good thing, right? So, in May, you have a month after April. Stick with me. April is a month that we are likely going to get a double special banner in, which is great. So, instead of having them double stacked, i.e. Legendary Remix and Double Special banners on the same month, they will instead be every other month, staggered, which is nice, because now you don't have two pretty highly effective, like, orb per impact banner happening at the same time on the same month. That would be a little upsetting. So I would more or less plan ahead for starting in May, every other month, having a legendary remix banner featuring what I've got down there. This is just the graphic that I used from the hero tracker videos I do at the end of the month to let you know when legendaries and mythics coming back and when. And then probably double specials will continue as they were. We didn't have one in March, we had one in February. We should probably have one in April also. So April, double special, May, remix. Make sense? Good. They should continue on that path. I hope they continue on that path, which would be really nice. So that's more or less what I'm kind of thinking there. Additionally, I think when we get the next remix banner, which should be in May, it will likely have Robin and our maybe one to three of our TBD heroes down there. The weird part is that traditionally, and I say traditionally because we've only had one, but traditionally we have had, more than one legendary hero on a remix banner, and that's mainly because they are the focal points of the remix. Now, we did have two heroes down here get remixed, as it were, and they were on a banner together. We don't necessarily know if it's going to be two legendaries every banner. It may just be one. Because if you think about it, legendary and mythic banners, they really only feature one new hero. And so the remix banners could also only feature one newly remixed hero also. But then also have some thrown in there too. They may have just done a specialty thing because it was the anniversary. I don't know. They kind of rolled all this stuff out in February because of the big anniversary year, and so it doesn't set a good precedence, I guess, is what I want to say. They may have just gone a little above and beyond. There may only actually be one, but based on the previous banner that we had, right, where we had everybody at the top show up, we didn't have Rioma, Ephraim, and Gunthra. So they are still kind of TBD. We don't know when they're going to show up, but in that same sense, because they weren't on the banner in February, it makes sense that they weren't in the notes as to when they would be coming back. Right? So I can't really fault them for that. That does kind of make sense to me. Like on a high level, it makes sense. So I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if we had all three, plus Robin, on the May banner. And we just don't know it yet because they haven't been on the banner to give us notes as to when they'd be coming back. Makes sense. Plus, we'd then have one legendary hero in every color. which I think would be kind of nice. There's no real rhyme or reason as to how they fill stuff in right now with just 5-star heroes. It may just be like popularity stuff, things that have been rerun on weapon skills banners, but not necessarily a lot of legendary banners in the past. I don't know. I'll continue looking at that and then, letting you know if something looks like some kind of, I don't want to say pattern, because patterns don't exist, but recurrence that happens within how these banners get laid out. But so far, we just have the one occurrence. It was a special circumstance, being an anniversary. I don't know that that's a good thing to set the bar for what we should expect moving forward. But all that aside, we now kind of know when they're coming back, or when we think they're likely coming back. What will they look like? And this is the more speculative part, even though this has all basically been speculation so far. We know that Ephraim got remixed with Attack Defense Unity, and of course Ice Mirror 2. Ike had a similar occurrence where he got Joint Drive Res and Radiant Ether 2. So they both had specials kind of redone, and they both had a new passive skill. Ephraim got a new A skill, Ike got a new C skill. The difference here is everybody was like, "Oh, are they gonna redo distant counter weapons? Are they gonna redo them?" No. No, they're not. Not right now, anyway. And I mean, I guess it makes sense, particularly with Ike. Ike has a couple iterations, base Ike and legendary Ike. They both have Regnal. And so if you redo one, kind of like when they refunctioned Falchion, everybody kind of got... There were a lot of refines going around when that happened, not just specific to one Falchion character, because you could refine them for multiples, right? I don't think they want to do that. Plus, distant counter weapons are kind of good on... Like, I would like distant counter weapons to get refined. Don't get me wrong. I would really enjoy that. But having distant counter built into a weapon is already pretty good value, just overall. So, granted, you could just give someone distant counter and then have them have a busted weapon. That is also a thing that kind of makes them more useful than someone like Ike here, who just has distant counter built in, and then you get an A skill. But a lot of weapons also kind of correlate with certain A skills that you can inherit. So I don't think they're necessarily that far behind in terms of game creep and, escalation. But they could use it. They don't need it necessarily, but it would be really, really nice if they did. So I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. Maybe 3 years from now. Maybe 3 years from now when they're like, hey, we should really refine these things. And then they'll make them super busted, and then everybody will complain. And then, everyone will be happy or sad. I don't know. It's tough to tell, honestly, with how the community is sometimes. But anyway, so these guys, they both got a new passive. And they both had their specials, basically, which is kind of like their unique skill, get an upgrade, right? Of course, their weapons are also unique, but, all of these guys in here pretty much have unique weapons. That's kind of their shtick. So, it doesn't surprise me that happened. So what might happen with Robin here? He could refine the weapon. Given it's a distant counter weapon, I don't think that's going to happen. But you could refine it. But she does have dragon skin. Interesting. So this is unique to her, right? I think that this is likely the skill that's going to be upgraded, whereas Ephraim and Ike both had their specials upgraded. I think probably Robin will have her A passive dragon skin get upgraded. She might then get another passive. It's tough to tell. Honestly, she didn't really come with anything particularly special in terms of her special. They might upgrade her weapon. I don't know. But definitely, I think probably what you're looking at is Dragon Skin getting some kind of boost to it. I know that Halloween Robin has a certain B passive that makes her very desirable. Maybe they'll give her something similar to that. I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll give her. Maybe they'll give her Halloween Robin's B-Pass. I don't know. But that is probably likely what's getting refined. Then we've got Lynn. Lynn is up on the block soon as well. She's popping in July. If they don't upgrade Laws of Sakai, I don't know what they're going to do. Okay? And similar to Robin, who also had the A passive, right? I think this is likely what's going to happen with Lynn. And listen, if you want to tell me that they're not going to refine this Lynn to be absolutely broken, you don't know intelligence systems, okay? I'll be honest, when Lynn came out, she was a little underwhelming. Like, just in terms of generalness, she was a little underwhelming. Not like that bad, but also when she came out, she was a little bit dated. I mean, this is literally her base kit. She had Speed Tactic, she had Desperation, she had Laws of Sakai. Nothing really special in terms of special or assist. And then she had Swift Mulligear, which does what you're seeing on the screen there. So, again, I don't know that they'll upgrade the weapons. This they might. It's possible. But, you know, Ike happened to have his defense tactic turned into Joint Drive Res. Maybe they upgrade Laws of Sakai, and then they go in and do something with, like, Joint Drive Speed for Lynn instead of Speed Tactic, which, let's be honest, tactic skills, they're a waste of a C slot. If you really want to run the tactic skill, you should probably put it on Seal. But then again, there are much better Seals that you could use as well. So they're really only limited to support-only units because they don't really impact yourself. Right? So they're just buffing allies within drive range anyway. And so if you have a joint drive, this is already moot. So I think ultimately, you know, the tactic skills we're going to see fall away. Maybe there's going to be a tactic 4 where it's going to be, you know, also self-inclusive in that. So basically a joint drive skill. But then again, you've also got tactic skills, which are movements of 2 or less. So again, it's worse than the joint drive. It just is. There's really no way to get around it. Hector's another one of those who's very iconic. We got the Thunder Armads, and then nothing else really except this guy here, Ostia's Pulse. Now this is going to give a cooldown, right? But it's not necessary. It's kind of like the infantry pulse of tactic skills, which is a thing, I guess. Right here it is. It's going to give a cooldown count of 1 to everybody, so long as they're not Cavaliers, basically. I think probably what they'll do is refine Ostia's Pulse to also be self-inclusive for Hector, because frankly, this is kind of just... I mean, it's good, but I don't think this is why you run Legendary Hector. If you run Legendary Hector, Armor Axe units are already... pretty competitive in terms of usage, so they're gonna have to give him some kind of edge, right? Because this is the whole point of remix banners, is to make these units that are pretty dated and make them more desirable somehow. And how do you make something like an Armor Axe unit more desirable over something that has come out more recently or is easy to build free to play? And instead of dumping orbs on a banner on a unit that's been out for like 3 years, you know, what do? You make them better. And so I think they're going to upgrade Ostia's Pulse. Again, this is unique. Maybe they do something with, maybe they give him a special. I don't know. Maybe they upgrade a fighter skill. Maybe they introduce the first Fighter 4 skill on Legendary Hector. That might be something else that they do. It's, like I said, it's hard to say right now, other than the unique passives that they have, or specials, I guess. Those are also included. But yeah, maybe we get a Vengeful Fighter 4 on Legendary Hector. Maybe that's what happens. But those guys are coming back later. We're not really too concerned about them. These next 3 that we're going to look at briefly are the ones that I'm suspecting are likely going to be on the May banner, along with Robin. So, Gunthra. The best Fey OC girl. I said it. That's right. I said it. Not get your act together. we have Chilling Seal, which honestly is pretty cool. Like when it debuted, it didn't really get a lot of attention, I don't think. But then months later, they were like, "Oh, this is actually pretty decent," and then nobody ever cared about it again. Gunthra unfortunately has one of those stat spreads that are just a little bit underwhelming, especially when it's a green tome cav unit that you could maybe build up better 4-star free-to-play friendly units. Those are more in abundance, perhaps. So Gunthra kind of fell under an unfortunate category, ultimately. But Chilling Seal is pretty cool. They will upgrade that almost indefinitely. Somehow they will do it. And it's got the HP conditional, but it's gonna nerf or debuff rather attack and speed at -6. Okay, with the lowest defense. I don't know if maybe they'll upgrade it to be like enemies within 2 spaces, kind of give it like a threaten 3 kind of range type deal rather than just a chill. But this was kind of like the first dual chill that we had almost. But it wasn't really dependent on anything other than defense. So I don't know, maybe they'll broaden the category for what it can hit at. Maybe it will hit more than 1 enemies. I don't know. But that would be something that I would like to see, maybe, to just kind of help it a bit. Because anybody with the lowest defense, like, this is basically allowing you to double, or hopefully double. Maybe. We'll see. But Gunthra, I don't know. It's a weird amalgamation, right? You have to have an HP conditional, and then you're debuffing attack and speed on something with low defense. So maybe the debuff isn't even needed at this point with the power creep. Who knows? This was like early FEH that we're talking about. Ryoma. Near and dear to my heart. Look at this. We're so close. we're so close to a +10. And I never intentionally pulled for Ryoma. This is just how many times the guy has showed up in my life. So you can bet I'm very excited to have Ryoma back. So he's got a Bushido passive B skill that's unique to him that deals +10 damage when special triggers. So it's kind of like Wrath without a conditional, I guess, if you want to think of it like that. It's great, I guess, but, you know, unfortunately, a lot of skills that help you get to trigger faster, you know, are B passives, like Special Spiral, for example. And then if you want to go another route, mostly they're A skills, which, again, was like the whole point of Kestrel Strands 2. He had that for the longest time, which maybe would have been nice for him. And then, of course, there's Time's Pulse, I guess. That's an option, too, but he's a flyer, so I don't even know if he can use that. I don't worry about these things. I think he can, actually, but that's beside the point. Point is, this, in this day and age, is not good. This is not good. This is bad. This is very, very weak. I highly suspect that this gets upgraded to something much more crazy. Again, they didn't upgrade Ragnall. I don't think they're going to upgrade Raijunto. He's got the same issue with base Ryoma, where they have the same weapon. It does the same thing. Same with Ike. Base, legendary, same weapon. So I don't think they're going to do that. They may actually upgrade his Kestrel Stance. That would be an easy thing. It's a skill that already exists, right? So maybe they do something with Kestrel Stance 3. They do Bushido. Make it much more bonkers. Maybe it's deals 20 damage when special trigger. I don't know. Like, how much extra true damage do you need? That's a good question. Not for me, though, because I'm not sure. I do know that when Ryoma comes back, I will try and get another copy of him just to finish him off and just be done with him forever. For the memes, of course. And then there's Ephraim. Good old Ephraim. He's got Flame Sigmund, which is a thing. Basically allowing for a guaranteed follow-up with some conditionals. That's his weapons deal, but more than likely not seeing a weapon upgrade, so moot. right? He's got Sturdy Stance too. He's got Solar Brace. Solar Brace is his unique. Now, when this came out, it was pretty interesting. You're going to get 30% of the damage that you deal back in HP when your special triggers. And it stacks, basically, with your special. So, he's kind of easy to heal up, but as you can see, the stat line here, it doesn't really scream undying. There are a lot of options that you have to go with in terms of units that are really hard to kill. Ephraim's not really one of them. So if you want someone who is maybe a bigger nuke, who has slightly higher physical defense, who heals up pretty effectively, then yes, this is your guy. He's not undying, though. That's maybe part of the problem that made him a little less desirable when he came out, because he got power crept pretty quickly. But that is what it is. Eventually, there was a time when Cavline was just like it. That's all you needed in FEH. And then it kind of got replaced by armor. And now we've been in this infantry world where infantry armor, or infantry emblem is like the thing. So they'll upgrade Solar Brace somehow. I don't know. Maybe they'll do like 50% health restoration. Maybe they'll take away the special trigger conditional. I don't know what they'll do, man. That would actually be way too much. Every attack you heal back 50% of the damage you deal. That would be stupid. But this, I mean, they've got options as far as other additional passives go. I think he could actually benefit pretty well from a joint drive. I just throw attack smoke onto everybody, literally, who anybody who needs a C skill. But yeah, it's anything is kind of possible with Ephraim. The Solar Brace is kind of cool. Like I said, it's pretty niche. B passives are very, 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 very competitive, especially when you're looking at things like lull skills, for example, which are one of the best B passives that Cavs can use. That's not an option with that. So maybe they'll build a lull into it. That might be nice. But those are just some thoughts that I threw together on the Legendary Remix banners and when they're coming back, what they might do with them. I know that you guys have kind of been asking for this, so I wanted to put some thoughts down. I've talked about it on live streams, but obviously not everybody makes it to the live streams, which might be happening later today, so you should subscribe and ring the bell and all that stuff. But that is it for me, for the most part, right now. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about Legendary Remix banners that you have. What do you think we might be getting in terms of upgrades or remixes, as it were, on skills and things like that? Like I said, drop on by the live stream later today. But that is it for me right now. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. Subscribe, ring bell. Thank you for doing all of that, as always. And until then, I will catch you next time.